Update time! Alright, first thing. Dendrobium stratiotes. So far it seems to be doing okay. The tip used to be more scrunched up stalk-wise, but now it's starting to extend just a little bit while still keeping this terminal leaf at this stalk. So it seems to be doing fine despite the repotting. Before, I did have some sphagnum moss covering all the roots here, but after a while I decided to just remove the sphagnum moss so that this root, for example, I want this root to really dip down into the bark as soon as possible. So if it's always surrounded by moist moss, it will just go out and it won't really go downward. So we'll see whether it goes down like the rest of the roots down here. Otherwise, lost a few more leaves, of course, at the lower ones. This one's curled up and nasty, or not nasty, but dry and not happy looking. It's really rigid compared to this ones, which are nice and more pliable compared to everything else, which is to be a given. The roots were not done well when I repotted it, but it was for the best in my opinion. Though, thinking back at it, maybe next time, if I do keep something straight in a terracotta pot, I'll just simply, once it starts getting a bit overrooted, I'll just put it in a new pot. I think that's a concept that I had before, but I just forgot about it and thought, no, I want to watch the roots, and now I can't pull it out of the pot because I don't have a clear pot. But when your mind's not all orchids all the time, when you have other responsibilities, I guess you forget that. But excuses are excuses. I made a mistake, in my opinion. But it's a mistake that still has benefits if it pulls through. Alright. Otherwise, it still looks quite healthy. And you may notice that, for those of you who've been here before, it didn't have this S-curve before. And that's mainly because before, it was really going like this because it was going towards the light. Now that I have the light more above it than before, it's now really trying to reposition a little bit. So that's pretty cool. You get to see it really reacting to its environment. Wow, 3 minutes on this thing. Well, you do need more attention. Next. Alright, this is Encyclia garciana, which I pulled from over there, and that little dip in the terracotta pot with the other orchid, which I'll get to in a bit. But this one's doing quite well, as far as I can tell. Hey, autofocus, please. Come on. Alright. Yeah, it's doing fine. The main two growths I want to look at is this one, because this one's growing another leaf in the middle, or I don't know if that's a sheath. I'm still unfamiliar with the Encyclia group, and also this one's also growing a leaf or a sheath in the middle. I'll need to check it with some other videos to make sure to decide whether it's a leaf or sheath. Sheath is where a flower spike would come out in the middle of this species, but otherwise everything looks pretty good. Like underneath there's some decent roots, and like actually here you can see that little root there. Hello! Okay, next. Alright, this is Dendrobium tetragonum. Yeah, nothing really to report. It seems to be doing fine. Although I guess this leaf in the middle doesn't look as nice as I remember it. But everything in a whole seems okay. I haven't checked the roots. I've been... when I first repotted it, there were some fresh, nice roots that were sticking out outside of the moss, which, you know, it's a given. It was on a whatchamacallit, a mount, so it's kind of awkward potting it up. But now that I've potted it up, I'm sure underneath it's fine, because, you know, I haven't seen much leaf loss at all. Any signs of roots here? Not that I see. Either way, nothing much visually to report. I think it'll be fine though. Alright, here's my Dendrobium stratiotes, big boy. Look at these canes. They are so fat and thick And full of green. Oh yeah. Okay. Nothing to report other than the newest cane is finally making its own roots. So now it's ready to set up and get ready for, you know, sucking up out of the medium here on its own instead of borrowing the roots from everyone else. It's now ready to set out and be an adult. And eventually, once these roots like develop and grow all over the place, most likely, I think there will be a new growth coming out of this eye over here. Giving it a pinch. There's also a nice eye on this side, on this side, on the back. But there's also a nice eye here too. Either way. But considering where I usually keep the light, you may see that it kind of leans that way. And so I keep the light on this end with the intention that any flower spikes that pop out will go this way. So it will be out and over. That's the hope. Cool. That's the hope with how I've positioned it in my little grow space here. Now, a thing to mention is that remember how in one of the I said before that in quite a few of my orchid pots that I lined it with a window screen, like the window screens you keep mosquitoes out with. Well, I decided to remove it because, yeah, roots were coming through it, and never again I'm putting window screen unless somehow the window screen is absolutely 100% flush with the line, the pot. Because if there's any space, it will just go through the screen instead of just going along the screen. The screen is not mesh enough or fine enough to keep it from going through it. So I'd show you it, but I'm operating on one hand, so Alright, let's see, what's next? Let's do you. This is Trichopilia suavis. As far as I can tell, after repotting it, I don't see any roots poking out down here. But up here, this growth continues to extend. No signs of rotting that I notice. Let me see, let me give it a pinch. Let's do an ocular check here. Any rotting? Not really. Give it a poke and squeeze around here. Anything? No? Still rigid, still... yeah, no rotting. So everything looks okay, as far as I can tell. Yeah, even this, the left edge on this new growth seems okay. Overall, nothing to report. I'm not going to dig in. I'm just going to let it be. I've traumatized it enough. Next. Okay, this is Oeceoclades spathulifera. Looking lovely. And look at these growths. Look at you. It's getting nice and tall. Can you focus? Let's see, how do I... oh. Why are you not on autofocus? Hello? Okay, how about... oh, I'll do manual focus, excuse me. Let's get closer. There you go. Better. And let me change the brightness here. Getting there. That'll do it. That's better. Okay. So these two growths, here and here. Hello. Sorry for shaky. Stop being so flush with this big one, huh? But otherwise, it seems to be doing fine. Let's take a look at these roots. Looks pretty good. I don't see any other roots. Oh, there's a root there, I can tell. Oh yeah. So what I remember reading, let's do auto now, is that this thrives in leaf litter on the floor. So that's the sort of looseness that I've done here. But maybe I'm thinking that maybe I made it a little too loose, because these are terrestrial-ish in nature. So I wonder if I should give it more compactness. I don't really know. It seems to be doing happily at the moment, so I don't think I can complain, honestly. Ooh, too bright. Hey now, can I fix this? Much better. Yeah. Yep, nothing to report. It's doing fine. It looks good. Next. Alright, let's see. Let's get this next. 2 orchids sharing an area. Let's pull this one up. This is Dendrobium unicum, the one with the nice orange flowers. Okay, let's not be dumb about this. Okay, let me get this out. Okay, I got it out. Alright. So let's take a look. Down here, the canes are continuing to grow. A+. Okay, no problem. Though I don't remember that lesion there, but that's okay. That's been there. That's been there. But these... flawless looking. Very nice. Oh yeah. Same thing with this one. Looking good. I'm sure it's appreciating being housed with this Maxillaria, which I'll get to in a moment. Let's see if we can get a little peek at the roots. Oh yeah. Hello, friend. Ah! Excuse me. So let's see. Can we get? There we go. Very nice. A little peeky at the roots. How about the other stalk? Unicum. Can I? No, not really. Not with all these objects in the way. Forget it. Forget it. It's doing well. Yee. It looks real happy. Next. Alright, so this is Maxillaria tenuifolia. As I said before, I cut it up into smaller pieces last time. And I've recently rearranged it so that the Maxillaria are available to be seen on one side of the vase, and then the Dendrobium unicum's housing on the other side there. So this way I can actually take a look at roots. So for example, let's see. Ah, there's a root right here. I want to keep good watch on that root. That's the only root that looks really good. Like I saw a proper nice tip on it. And so that one, this is the one that I'm interested to thrive properly. The other ones had roots that were kind of like, they had no tips. Some were firm, but they didn't really look all that healthy. However, this new growth on this one seems to be doing okay. It's extending, and I expect to see some roots on it shortly. The other ones, nothing to really say. But they say this grows like a weed. Live up to that, will ya? It's also, I like how lush specimen plants look. Alright, next. Let's see, who's next? Who's next? Let's go for... Well, actually no. Let's go with this one. This one's precariously nestled in between 2 coffee makers. Alright, Otto. Oh no, I don't like Otto. Let's make it brighter, please. Is that as bright as we'll go? I suppose so. So, there you go. Let's get that focus in. So, Dendrobium tobaense, variation giganteum, seems to be doing quite well. That's a new growth right here. This is a new growth that's been doing quite well. And then it's hard to point that out. This is a new growth that's been doing well. This one right here, and then apparently there's another one down in there. Let me just focus in on it and stop being dumb. There you go. Hello, friend. You are new growth. Oh, and that's now that we have macro, we can take a look at how hairy this guy is actually. The hairs are so fine that you don't really notice it unless you're up close. But actually, it used to have a different name, a different classification, which I remember as I might screw this up. It's like nigroviolacea? Essentially meaning black-haired. So, interesting tidbit. Either way, I really like the flowers that I've seen on the internet. If you want to look it up. Dendrobium tobaense. Variation giganteum. Give it a look-see. It'll grow much bigger. And the flowers will be green and have a crazy tongue. It's really cool. Alright, next. And by next, I think this guy. Let's be smart about this. Don't break a flower spike, please. Okay. Anything to report? They still get longer. I have not been keeping track of how much longer they are. But what I have been keeping track of, personally, not and lazily, look at this bulb. It's getting thicker. Look at this bulb. This old bulb, it is very thick compared to this one. However, this is the same length. Yeah, it is same length. So as long as I keep giving it some good fertilizer without burning roots, I'm sure it will get even thicker. Much thicker, yeah. Jawohl. Give me good chocolate. Friendo. Yee. Next. I haven't really checked up on this one, but there's not much to see, I'd say. This is the Bulbophyllum that's in ICU. I'm expecting that the roots are fine. I doubt that they're deeper in. Yeah, definitely not. Nothing to report on this guy, except that he's still green. Aren't you, Chikorita? Yee. Alright. Okay. Hello, Galeopetalum, but let me work on this one, okay? Stanhopea tigrina. Where's that new growth? Oh, you're the new growth? Yes, you are the new growth. Still continues to grow. The leaf looks pretty good. The leaf doesn't look as large as this one, though, so I think it's not as happy as I'd like it to be, as it would like to be. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there'll be a better leaf unfurled. This is the first time I'm dealing with it. I believe this is a new leaf on this one. Huh. Actually. So, for those who are unfamiliar with the species, I'm sure that's a lot of you. When it comes to this species, I'm sure it's far from blooming size, but once it gets to a blooming size, it will actually send out a flower spike, not up, but usually off to the side, or sometimes, quite often, down through. And so, typically you'll find these species grown in net pots, which, speaking of, I got one of these just for it, so just in case. It will be a while before, you know what, thinking about it now, maybe it was a mistake buying this, because maybe it won't be blooming anytime soon. I don't know. I'm still learning. So here, I'll transfer you soon. But otherwise, keep growing. It looks pretty okay. I don't like that green, that brown tip, but whatever have you. It is what it is. All right, you know what? Let's get to Galeopetalum. Why not? Because it'll take so much space on this leaf. This leaf. Hello. Okay. Oh, stand up. So this growth continues to grow. It's quite yellow in comparison to the leaves that used to be on it, which were lush, dark green, and I don't know if it's I'm giving it enough magnesium, or if it's just light green at first and then it darkens up. I don't quite remember it being as light green on that Zygopetalum, but this is a Galeopetalum, so it's got Zygopetalum parentage, but it's got another plant by the name of Galoecia or something like that that mixed up in it. But that being said, I'm sure most people are interested in the blooms that are shaping up. So here are the blooms. They are growing. I wonder how much bigger they'll get. As you can see, they're about the size of the thumb right now, and I'm sure that they're going to continue to get bigger. They don't look like they're that close to opening just yet. Although that one has a little bit of a slit here. Hold on. And this one... High focus. That one has a little bit of a slit here. Are you ready to open soon? Maybe in a week? Nah, 2 weeks. I say 2 weeks. That's my prediction. Alright, we'll see if that happens up. Otherwise, let's take another gander at the roots. From the top, the medium looks... I don't know if that's mold or salt deposit, but I've been putting a lot of fertilizer as of late. I've been upping the magnesium just to be sure, because a lot of the older leaves were looking a little yellow as well. And it seems to be doing better on that front, in my opinion. But it could also be that the reason why they were turning yellow is because it's spending a lot of resources making a lot of roots. Just look at all those roots. It's so many. Where are you? Let me turn on the light. That doesn't really help. A little, barely helps. There you go. Right there. Woof, woof. There you go. Look at these. Look at that. Look at these. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Roots everywhere. It's insane. Look at that. I've been giving it quite a bit of phosphorus because of all these roots that it's producing. Typically, the fertilizer that I give it is... What is the fertilizer I give it? Oh man, I forgot what the ratio is, but it's the nitrogen and potassium are the same, and they are above the amount of phosphorus that it gets. But I've been adding an 1/8 teaspoon of a bloom booster, which has a lot of phosphorus for it in the usual fertilizer. So it's a bit more balanced. I don't think the phosphorus is quite as high as the other two nutrients, but still, yeah, it's got more phosphorus available to it now. So I think it's doing a-okay. Not as picture perfect as I'd like it to be, but it's still growing. So alright, let's get this one next. Phalaenopsis gigantea. Looks pretty good. Now, gigantea doesn't seem to have a lot of green as compared. Yes, see, like that's a dark green on most Phalaenopsis. Gigantea seems to always have a light green. That being said, feels pretty good. Nothing to report. The leaf is extending.